What is up, guys? This is going to be my first YouTube video, and it's going to be about the NCLEX-RN. Let's get into it. Before we get into the video and the details about how I studied, I wanted to share one very important fact with y'all. Actually, two. First and foremost, I passed my first time taking it. And second, in 2019, 88% of the students that took it for the first time passed it. This is a very passable exam. It's very intimidating, but it's very passable. That's just something I wanted to share with you all before I started getting into what I used and what I studied. All right, now let's get into what I used to study specifically. After graduating, I did not feel ready for this exam at all. I don't think anyone does. If you do, then God bless you. But I did not feel ready. I wanted to start from square one, and what I was recommended was Mark's Clinics audio reviews. They helped me so much. They took me back to square one, like I was at first semester again, like I didn't know anything. And then he brought me back up to speed, told me almost everything I needed to know. And they were very helpful. He breaks everything down. He starts from square one, and it's just very helpful. I would really recommend him as the first thing I used when I started studying for my NCLEX. His audio lectures range from an hour to about, I think the longest one was 2 hours. There were 12 lectures. They were very helpful. They took me about 3 or 4 days to go over. I made sure I went over those first before I went over any questions because I wanted to get all my content down. A lot of these reviews, they throw you straight into questions and you don't know the content, and that just wasn't helpful to me. So that's why I used his audio clips first. They really broke everything down, like I said, and I really recommend those. Again, email me if you need those. Please email me. I will be glad to send them to you. Now, the second thing I used, I'm sure everyone watching this video has heard of it, but UWorld was so helpful when it was combined with Mark Clemens' audio lectures. Because I feel like if you go into something not knowing the content, you're just guessing, you're robbing yourself, in my opinion. So after I was into his lectures, I did UWorld questions. At first I was doing like 75 a day, but once I scheduled my NCLEX date, I started doing about 200 a day. So I'm sorry if you hear the dog barking, but the rationales combined with Mark's Clinics audio lectures, combined with me practicing select all that apply questions, is what really threw me over the top when it came to taking my NCLEX, and it just really got me comfortable doing select all that apply questions and stuff like that. Now, after I told you what I studied, let me show you how I utilized what I studied. When it came to Mark's Clinics audio lectures, you can't really see it, but this is about 120 sheets. I used about 100 pages of this, going over everything he said. Because when I write something down, what they call it, tactile learning. When I write something down, I feel like I remember it more. And that's what I did. I mean, I didn't go over this a second time. I think I went over it the day before my NCLEX. I looked over all these notes the day before my NCLEX. Only these. I didn't look over my UWorld notes or anything. I only looked over these because they were short, simple. It took me about 2 or 3 hours to go over, and it really helped. Now this big boy, this journal cost me $10. I don't know why I bought this $10 journal. Don't be like me. But this is just an example. Well, you can't really, let me try. Okay, these are my UWorld notes. I write like a 5th grader, don't judge me. But when it came to the rationales for UWorld, I wrote down everything I didn't know in the rationale. And that's really what helped me. Even if I got the question right, I would still write down everything in the rationale that I didn't know that could possibly come up on my test. And this is really what helps me out when it came to NCLEX. So after the notes, now on my test, I had very few select all that apply. Keep in mind, they say if you get a lot of select all that apply that you're passing. I had 10 select all that apply, and people say that half of their tests is select all that apply. I feel like I only got like 10 or 12. I didn't count. But that's how my NCLEX went, guys. I didn't have a lot of select all that apply. Questions were kind of difficult, but they were They weren't extremely difficult. They weren't as hard as UWorld in my opinion. And I didn't use, people take their pictures in front of it. I didn't use any of this. I did not use none of this. I did not go over any books. I just used UWorld and Mark Klimic. As if a matter of fact, I'm going to show you all my UWorld stats right now. These are my UWorld stats, guys. Nothing too impressive. I got 54% of my questions right and 44% of them wrong. And 1% of them were omitted by accident. I mean, I ranked in the average percentile. Nothing too impressive, and I passed. You guys can pass too. No question. So there it is. I mean, that's all I use to pass NCLEX. I'm an average student. I am by no means smart. I do believe I'm a hard worker though. I knew what I needed to do to go into this test and pass. You guys know the same. You guys know if you know the information. You guys know if you don't know the information. My biggest advice is don't let the anxiety get the best of you. Don't let the confidence get the best of you either. Don't go in overconfident. And just not study everything you need to study, because this test covers everything. I was getting questions that I had never seen before, but hey, I was able to guess through it, got through it in 62 questions, thank God. And yeah, but you guys just make the experience what you can. I mean, you know what you need to do, like I said. But thanks for watching the video, guys. If you got any questions, please comment them. I'll be more than happy to answer, and please email me if you need those lectures, like I said. And any other questions, just comment them, like I said. Thank you very much. You all have a good day.